Hi again. So in yesterday's video, I showed you a day in my life where I explained exactly how I go about my day, what I eat, and how much it all costs. And to some people, they might watch that and probably think, oh, that's quite boring, or where's the luxury? Why isn't he being a bit more flashy with his day? Why is it so simple? It's like a simple living lifestyle. Well, in this video, I'm going to be telling you a reminder about why you probably already have enough and you should be more content with the things that you already have. Now, it's not to say that I don't still strive to have nice things in my life sometimes, or that I don't want my lifestyle to be of a certain standard. It's just that anything beyond what I'm already content with is more like just a bonus for me. It's not super important and it's not going to enhance my life in any way, really, especially not if it's some kind of material possession. And to illustrate this point, I wanted to share with you guys a conversation that I had last night with a friend. Now, this friend is working a job while he gets a degree. It's not a particularly well-paid job. And he was complaining about the fact that he wishes that he would have more money. He can't wait to finish his degree, so he'll earn more money. And the conversation kind of drifted to what he would do with that money and a bit more about his job. And basically, there was a guy who was there working with him, and he said, one of my biggest fears is that I would end up like this guy. He's been here for 20 years. This guy was in his mid-40s. He said, if I end up like that, still doing this job, getting paid £13 an hour, then it would be horrific. And I was like, you know what? Maybe that guy is just happy with what he's got. Maybe he's happy with just having enough. You see, in the West, we're fed this belief that more is better. But as I've said in many times on this channel, if more is the goal, you'll never have enough. You'll never have a nice enough car. You'll never have a big enough house. You'll never have enough pair of shoes. When will it ever be enough? It's like the story of the Mexican fisherman. If you're not familiar with that story, I'll give you a quick recap. So basically, there's a Mexican fisherman, obviously, who's spending his days fishing, playing with his kids, having early naps in the daytime, lying in on the morning, walking into town and playing his guitar in the village on a night, doing all the things that he enjoys, and he has his needs met. He doesn't need anything more. Then an American businessman comes over and he's like, oh, don't you know, if you catch more fish, then you can make more money, and then you can afford to buy some ships that'll go out and you'll have people working for you, and you'll get more fish, and then you'll make more money. And the more money you have, you'll be able to not have to work anymore. And the point of the story is that it comes full circle back to the fact that the Mexican fisherman would be doing the exact same thing that he's doing already, which is having free time to do the things that he enjoys. And that's why I often like to remind people, you already have enough. Now, there is the argument that if you went through all of that and built this empire, then at the end of it, although you'd be back where you started, you would also have wealth and assets, so you would have a certain level of peace of mind. And I can get on board with that. That's a fair point. But there would also have been a lot of stress that you would have had to go through to build that empire. So my question to that would be, how much of that stress are you willing to go for to find the right balance of how much you need in your life? I see a lot of people that have all of the ambition in the world. They want to go out and they want to conquer and they want to build this vast empires. But they don't take into consideration the toll this will take on the mind and the body, the stress levels that will be involved if they were to go through with this to the extreme. Now, that's not to say that it's not important to still build your life to a certain standard of living that you would like. But I think when you reach that standard, it's important to remind yourself, okay, now I have enough. I don't need anything more. Because if you get to that level and then you feel that, then anything more, if you try to create more wealth, it's more out of just doing it for the pleasure rather than it being a necessity. Because when you start to make it a necessity, you're obsessed, and then it's time to ask yourself, is this greed? Am I doing this out of greed, or do I really not really need anything else? And this is something that I'm going to leave you with, actually. The lower you set the bar for your standard of living, the happier you'll become. And if that irks you to hear that, if you don't like hearing that, then the chances are you have been drawn into that mentality. You've been drawn into the more, better, best mentality. So that's the time to stop and question it. Do I have enough? Have I already got enough? Do I really need more? And the good thing about like setting the bar lower and being content with what you have means that you will automatically become a more joyful, happier person. But also there's a strange kind of magic that happens where opportunities will actually start to present themselves where you can attain more if you want to, but without having to destroy your soul and your health. Just remember that and take that into consideration when you are going about your goals in life. Thought that was a good reminder to share with you. Hope you got something from this, and I will see you next weekend. Ciao.